Okay, here we're going to go over the sheep brain structures. Okay, we have the cerebrum. These are the cerebral hemispheres. Then the cerebellum, the spinal cord.
So,
Otherwise known as.
This is the spinal cord.
alright, so this is
This area here, from here to here, is the medulla oblongata, the pons,
the black layer.
and the midbrain.
Oh yeah, sclera.
So you peel that off,
Yeah.
and then
There
you
you
see the
go.
reflective stuff.
This is the olfactory bulbs.
And then the black stuff is the
Olfactory bulbs. The optic
what'd you say?
chiasma, optic chiasma, ocular motor nerves, optic nerve. It's very small, right in front of the optic chiasma. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Optic nerve. There's only one on this brain, and on most of them there's only one. There's not one over here. And this down here on the medulla is our adducens, these worm-like nerves
I have
here.
desensitized
Adducens.
Severely
Desensitized.
it would be blind. Okay.
Next
So-
is
Subtle.
All right, we're going to do some more of the brain structure here. We've got the corpus callosum. See that? It's the kind of darker white matter, is the corpus callosum. We then have the space, which is our first ventricle. The first ventricle. We do not see the septum pelliculum on here. But if we did, it would be somewhere kind of in here. Okay, so we've got the corpus callosum here, the first ventricle. We have, so the corpus callosum, this is the first ventricle. The other ventricle is in the other side of the hemisphere. We then have our, it's the 1 and 2. So then we have our third ventricle, kind of under here, third ventricle. The cerebral aqueduct, it's kind of underneath the third ventricle. It's just another area, so it's all part of this. So here's the third ventricle, cerebral aqueduct. Cerebral aqueduct. Okay. And then down here, kind of right before the spinal cord, is your fourth ventricle. Here in the white bush-like branch shape, we have our adducens. Is that right? No, that is not the
The arbor
adducens.
vitae.
That is the arbor vitae. The branch is the arbor vitae. We have the penile body. Let me pick up a whole brain for you. The penile body is this little pea-like substance or structure in the middle of the hemispheres.
It's bad lighting.
That right there, the penile body. Okay. Now your inferior and superior colliculus. superior. Okay, so here's your superior. Can you back up a little? Yeah. Superior and inferior is just below. So superior colliculus, inferior colliculus. That's it.
She don't care.
Okay, can you hold it? Can you see?
Yeah, it's far back.
Okay, this is the anterior chamber. This is your sclera layer. All this in here is your ciliary body. The hole is the pupil. In there is your iris. The see-through is the iris. Excuse me, the cornea. So the cornea, the pupil is the whole opening, ciliary body. That has aqueous humor in it. We have your lens, the iris, aqueous humor. I believe aqueous humor. Here in the posterior chamber, we have tectum lucidum is the green. Choroid layer is the black. Black. Sclera choroid layer. And the retina.
We're going to be doing the ear structures. So we have the external portion of the ear. It's here and here. And then the middle ear is from here to in here. So it's this section here. And then the internal ear is from this area all the way back. So we have the auricle, which is this section in here. And your helix is this part. This is what girls get pierced. Your external acoustic meatus is in here, this area in here. And then you have your tympanic membrane. If this little thing pulls out, this has your malleus and your incus on here, but this membrane in the middle is your tympanic membrane. So your malleus is this area here, and you can remember it's the one that hits the tympanic membrane, and it has a little ball on the top. And then the incus is this shape right here. It has a little pointier area, and that just slides back in there. Then you have your semicircular, I'm just going to leave that out. You have your semicircular canals, which is here, and they clearly look like semicircles. Then you have your cochlear is here, and that looks like a little snail. And then here you have your stapes. It's like a triangular looking bone. And then, while we're on here, this is your vestibulocochlear nerve, and it connects to the snail, to the cochlea. That's all. And this, we're continuing with the ear structures. This in here is the pharyngeal tympanic, and it's also called the auditory tube. It's this area in here.
Okay, here we are. We have the brain. I'm going to go over some of the basic parts. Of course, the dura mater, arachnoid matter, and pia matters are not on here, but of course they're the protective covering that covers the brain. You then have the cerebrum, which is this big thing, okay? You then have the frontal lobe, this area, parietal lobe, kind of in the middle, occipital lobe in the back, and your temporal lobe. You then have your cerebellum, your medulla oblongata, your pons, and then the midbrain. And then kind of your midbrain in here, which we will open up to. Oh. Show you a couple things. Here again, your medulla oblongata, your pons, your midbrain. The white branches in here is your arbor vitae in your cerebellum. The cerebellum, right? Okay, in the cerebellum. This right here, yeah, so this is your first, your,
That's the lateral ventricle.
yeah, your first lateral ventricle. Then every second. This would be your third. This is number 23 here, is the cerebral aqueduct. I believe that's a cerebral aqueduct. And then down here is your fourth ventricle, which goes all the way down. Because it's usually your third goes to the cerebral aqueduct, and then which leads into the fourth. And that's it for now.
So now we're going to do the human brain structure. So up here we have the frontal lobe. The parietal lobe is here. Then the occipital lobe is in the back, this area here. And then you have your temporal lobe, which is here and here. Now, we have our cerebellum, which is here. And when you open it up, you have your arbor vitae, which are the little branches in the cerebellum. Your pons is right here, which is number 28, labeled here. Then you have your medulla oblongata, which is here. And your midbrain is this number 31, if you can see that, number 31 here. You have your pons, which is right here, this area, this round area. And I already said that.
Yeah, show it this way. Show it like,
If you look at it like
Yeah.
this, it's here. Now we have our corpus callosum, which is 10. This is this whole area in here. And then our lateral ventricle is here. It's on this side and it's also on the other side of the brain, number 11. We have our thalamus, which is right here, which is right above here, this area in here. Our third ventricle is underneath the thalamus in here. In this little circle in the middle, this is the interthalamic adhesion, and it's also called the intermediate mass. So we have our pineal body, which is also called the pineal gland. It's this area here, number 23. We have our mammillary body, which is this little round ball thing, number 24.
say the number is good.
Okay. Now we have our corpora quadrigemina, and it's right here, number 31, and it's number 13 as well. It's this area here. Our cerebral aqueduct is number 34. It's pointing to this area, this little hole, this little space in here. We have our arbor
Well-
vitae again, which is this white branchy area. Our fourth ventricle is number 35E, this area down here.
Starts at the
It
little
starts-
triangle.
Yeah, little triangle in here.
And the quadrimenum, what is the corpora quadrimenum? That consists of the, what's that called? What's 31?
It's the superior colloculus.
Is it the
Colliculus
superior or is that
and the inferior.
inferior?
I'm not sure which one is which, but the quadrinemma consists of the both superior and inferior colliculus.
Is it, would it be 13? Is it 13?
Superior, inferior.
Okay, so superior and inferior.
So 13 is superior colliculus and 31 is inferior colliculus.
Right. And that's all.
And that makes up the corpus quadrinemum.
Yeah.
Because there's 2 on this side and then
then
2
there's
on
two
the
on the other side.
other hemisphere.
Okay, that's all we have.